Hi everybody, welcome to my loft. I'm Rusty Blackwood and I'm here to do a short video. Today is June the 26th, 2025. 6 months from today will be Boxing Day. Imagine how fast the time goes. I have had such a trying afternoon so far. To bring a video to y'all here. I started out, I did one total video, usually just about 32-minute video, and something went wrong. It didn't, in the end, it seemed like everything was fine. I went to end the video, and the video ended, but then it didn't go onto my area on the computer on my laptop where it always goes. And so then I thought, well, I'm just going to do one here at my desktop, and a little different set entirely, like it's not my usual set. And but it has to do when I can't do it on my laptop in my normal set. And so I got started with that, and then we had poof, away with the hydro. And then I had to wait for, when I finally got things back, then I had to wait for my computer here, my desktop, to load up, and it was doing some updates while it was doing that. So needless to say, this is the third attempt. So it's 3 times and out, baby, if this doesn't take. And so, anyway, here I am, and I've already wasted almost 2 minutes explaining what I've been doing today. And so anyway, my first video I had a different outfit on. I had a dress, very pretty dress. I will do that again another day, summer dress. And but so anyway, when I thought, well, I'm just gonna sit here, just, you just see me from my waist up, but I thought, well, maybe I can at least put a skirt on. I have this nice lovely satin sleeveless blouse, and so I went and put a leather skirt on, and so I shall show that to y'all like I have been doing for my videos. This is just going to be a really quick model. I don't even have shoes on, so bear with me. I'm in my bare feet. And so here we are. This is the outfit for today. This is just a knee-length black leather skirt, and it hugs the body very nicely, as you can see, and the copper satin top complements it beautifully. And so, for those who like bare feet, there we go. And so now I will come back and sit here and talk to y'all for a little bit of time. I'm here with my autumn trilogy here on the table beside me, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about that before I really get into it. I'm going to show y'all again the cover of my upcoming prequel to my autumn series, Before the Grandeur. Hopefully this is showing nicely. It's hard to know when you're sitting behind it just how well it is showing on the screen. This, of course, is Cyril as a young man when Before the Grandeur takes place, and this is Cyril as a mature man whom you meet in The Perils of Autumn. And so I'm going to quickly read the synopsis on the back, give you an idea of the prequel and what it contains, what it's about. Choosing one's path in life can often be an overwhelming assortment of unanswered quandaries. When it hands you nothing but poverty, strife, with little chance of survival, the quandary seems impossible to resolve. For the deprived young Englishman, Cyril Landon, born into this stricken world of poverty just prior to World War I, the road in every aspect appeared hopeless. The small village of South Woodchester, Gloucestershire, England, offered little for its residents, and for young Cyril, The chance of success in any field appeared far removed from his grasp. But life underestimated this young man, for he was filled with determination, grit, and an endless drive to achieve much better than his station in life was offering, and he would not settle for less. A labor situation at a local farm outside his village provided a window into a possible future, one he had never given thought to, but through encouragement, plus a growing passion and respect for horses, an entire future was suddenly revealed. Young Cyril would willingly step through a door now opened, a door that would open many more, and he could not wait to see where they would lead. Little did he know at that time just how far his choice would take him. Delve into the pages of Before the Grandeur, The Making of a Horsemaster, the edifying prequel to the thrilling autumn trilogy of books by Rusty Blackwood, certain to immerse you into the equestrian world of professional racing, concealed secrets, and an unfaltering love that will encase your heart. So here we go. And you can watch for this prequel very late this year, and if not before the end of the year, then early in 2026. I don't like to put an actual time date on my work when I'm going to be releasing a new novel, because well, life is life and things can turn up, and when it's just me doing the production and the producing of the novel, I mean, along with my producer Don McCauley. Just hang on here. Just clearing my throat before something else happens. Don is going to be producing the book with me again, like we did with the sequel to The Perils of Autumn, the two-part sequel, and so by not giving an actual release date, that it eases it up for me, because I mean, as I said, life is life, and you never know what's coming, and I've got a very busy summer ahead of me, and my grandson's wedding in September the 20th. And so between showers and birthdays happening over the summer, family birthdays, you know, that's life. And so I work when I can on my upcoming prequel, and it will be what it will be when it will be, as simple as that. And I'm not stressing about it. I've refused to go there anymore. There was a time, you know, the stress level was right through the roof. If I hadn't produced a new book in a said period of time, like a year, 2 years or so, and but I long since got over that, because it happens when it happens. I can't speak for other authors and their methods of what they do and how they do it, but with me, I have to be in the right mindset. I have to be able to feel what it is that I'm writing, because I've done this for so long, and I know myself so well, that I know what's good and what is not good. And if I'm not in the right mindset and I'm not feeling what I'm writing, I may as well stop, because if I can't produce quality, you know, I will not give up quality for quantity. It's as simple as that. I know some writers, they will say, oh, well, they've got to, and I get asked this in interview questions, what is your writing day like? How much do you demand you produce of yourself? And I don't. I produce whatever I produce, whatever comes to me. If I'm not in the mood, I don't even attempt to sit down and write. But if I'm in the zone, then it could be hours on end that I'm writing. And if, as I say, as it comes to me, if it's not coming to me, I'll go and find something else to do. And I've long since come to terms with that. That is, you know, I've settled down. That is my way, and I adhere to it. And I find that if I do, and I'm not worrying about, oh, it's been 4 or 5 days since I've written anything, doesn't bother me anymore. There's a lot more important things in life that are more important in that respect than how long it's been since I've worked on an existing manuscript. And so, but it will come, and I hope when it is released that y'all will get yourself a copy, and the same as you've done with the Autumn trilogy, beginning with the Perils of Autumn, then Return to Autumn, and Return to Autumn Part 2, which ends the series. And so that's that, and I hope you're all having a really good afternoon. It is kind of overcast, kind of cloudy a little bit here, and it's only about I have in Fahrenheit, and it says, let me see, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, so it would be whatever that is in Celsius. I'm not even going to bother with that. I still like the imperial system, and I use it, and I don't feel in the least bit hindered, because I can do Celsius if I choose to, or I can set stuff in Celsius and figure out what the temperature is, or the mileage is, or what the weight is, whatever. And I know a lot of people prefer Celsius, and if that's your bag, then great, you know, enjoy it. But I like to look and see Fahrenheit on my computer, and on my phone, and that's that. And so I'm thinking about, like in the first video that I did, some of the things that I spoke about, and just about I guess life in general, and what you're making out of life, what you're doing, how you're coping, because we're certainly not moving forward, we're sliding back, and after that farce of an election we had in April, and so but I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm one person. I mean, I have a voice, and I will continue to use it, and I will continue to speak my mind, and you know, we have to be, those of us that do any kind of broadcasting, whether it's YouTube here, or whether it's doing podcasts. I just do YouTube videos. I mean, I don't do a podcast, a daily podcast, or anything like that. But you know, with the bill C5 that is trying to be like censorship, and all of the endless bills that keep coming from Ottawa without even passing the Senate. Everything is just upside down, topsy-turvy. They sold their souls long ago for their paychecks, and not caring about people of this country, not caring about the office they were voted in to represent, the people of the area that their seat covers, and I'm, you know, I don't know how they sleep at night. I certainly couldn't do it. But then when my time comes that I stand before God Almighty, I'm not going to have to try to make excuses, which will not be accepted anyway, because he sees everything constantly. He hears every lie. He sees every um, misdemeanor. He sees every crime. He sees every lie. Um, he sees it all, and you better hope that when your time comes, and the time will come for everybody, um, you better be making peace while you can, making amends while you can, and asking for forgiveness while you can. But that's going to be their problem. That's going to be their plight to have to deal with. We can only worry about ourselves and our families and protecting our families. And so therefore, for the sake of my children, my boys and my grandchildren and my great-grandsons, I will continue. If I've got something to say, I'll say it. And if YouTube doesn't like it, what is it, the old saying? Tough titty, said the kitty. And but the milk looks pretty. And so there you go. And so I haven't done any continuation on my Derwood Tugbottom series. It's an adult comedy series. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. It is available on Amazon. It's 3 parts so far. And I have the intention of doing one more to finish the Derwood series. But I haven't gotten around to that yet. Derwood is bittersweet for me because my brother, my dear, sweet late brother Rick, who was the one that invented Derwood Tugbottom. Derwood came from Rick's very vivid, often wild imagination, and he very easily could have written. He had what it takes to write, and extremely talented musician as well. And but he gave me Derwood Tugbottom back in 2012 and 2011 actually, and I began the series of the Derwood Tugbottom series in 2012, and he was so flattered to think that I would actually write Derwood Tugbottom into a book and publish it. And because the original Derwood Tugbottom, as many of you know, was an actual Christmas gag gift that my eldest daughter-in-law had asked if I would write for my brother Rick for Christmas, because they used to give each other these silly gag gifts. And it was based on a phone call that my brother made to my daughter-in-law in the character of Derwood Tugbottom. And because my daughter-in-law was the exclusive chauffeur for a very exclusive retirement center here in St. Catharines, and he had called her complaining that he had been on her bus and she backed over his foot and ruined his shoe and blah blah blah. He wanted restitution. He's going on and on and on in this British character, and my daughter-in-law had call display, like she knew who it was, and identification, or what is it called, caller ID. I mean, I don't have it, and it's been quite some time since I have, and so I've forgotten what the actual name of it is, but I think it is caller ID. And so it came up, Uncle Rick, and so she knew who it was. And so she played along with it for quite some time, and she said he was not giving 1 inch. He was sticking right to character. And she said to him, Uncle Rick, what are you doing? I know it's you. And he was going on, like, who's this Uncle Rick person? This character, I don't know any Uncle Rick. And he carries on, she said, right to the end until finally he gave in and he started to laugh, and so she told me about this phone call, and she asked me if I could write a short story based on this phone call for her to give to Rick for his silly gag gift at Christmas. So I did, and I think the very first, I think it was something like 20 pages. It was very short, wasn't long, and he was so taken with it, and so I decided, well, I'm gonna expand this. I'm gonna write a short story, but like longer than 20 pages, but would still be considered a short. And so I called my brother, and I never told him what I was going to do, and I just kind of asked him if this Derwood Tugbottom actually existed. How do you perceive him? What's he look like? What's his personality like? What's his features like? And so he's telling me how he perceived Derwood to be. And so I was making notes, and and he'd ask me, like, why are you asking all these questions? And I never told him what I was planning to do. And I said, well, I've been thinking about this silly character, and I just kind of wondered if he actually existed. Like, what would he be like? How do you see him? And so I went on, and I wrote The Misadventures of Derwood Tugbottom. And of course, I dedicated it to my brother, rightfully so, because without my brother's imagination, conjuring up dear old Derwood, then there would never have been a Derwood Tugbottom comedy series. And I had dedicated each of, like, the next two as well to my brother, and if I write another one, I will as well. And so I published it, and I got a copy for Rick, and took it up and give it to him. And he was tickled pink. He really was. He laughed from cover to cover, and he was so almost humbled, I guess. I don't know any other word for it. He just thought it was just so wonderful that I would do that with a character that he had created. So he said, he's yours, little sister. If whatever you want to do with him, do it. And so that's how the Derwood Tugbottom comedy series, which right now is a trilogy, came to be. And I just haven't gotten myself where I need to be to write a fourth one, because it's just, it'd be 6 months on Friday, or tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow that my brother has been gone, and I know that this time he is not going to be able to read it and enjoy it in physical form. I'm sure he maybe can see it, but if and when I do it. But I just haven't been able to get there yet in that mindset to be able to write Derwood. And because I know, Derwood's creator is not here now, and so in physical form, and so for me, it's been a hard 6 months coming to terms with his loss. Rick and I we were each other's only sibling, and we were always close all our life, and he was the perfect big brother, and he taught me so much. He advised me. He would answer questions. If he'd guide me, he'd help me, and he was always there for me. He was stalwart, and he was wise, and he was loving, and I know he loved me. I know he knew I loved him so much, and so, everybody deals with grief and the loss of someone so close in their own way, in their own time. What I can't understand are people that don't get it, They have no empathy. They'll even admit they have no empathy. I know a guy that he even admitted, you know, he doesn't have empathy. And I used to think that was just a crock, but after a while, after I got to know him really well, no, he doesn't. He doesn't have compassion. He doesn't care. He doesn't. I don't know whether it's the fact that he just doesn't allow himself to do this. It's his way of protecting himself. I don't know. But yet no, he may not have it, but he likes to receive it. And I'm sorry, but little too late. And but I have problems trying to understand, I guess, that mindset where people can just, they live in tunnel vision. It's, you know, like their way or the highway attitude, and they miss out on so much. Not that people love to hurt and to grieve and mourn, but in other ways, so many other things. And well, that's a choice I guess they make, and I guess it's a choice to live with. And so but I'm very blessed in many ways. Very, very blessed. Excuse me. You ever burp when you're talking? You know, burp when you're going to say something. And but as I say, I am very blessed. I've got some my own family. I've got a wonderful family. Very, very blessed. And my little great grandsons, they keep me young, especially the youngest one, Carter T. He is, for me, it's like a time warp, because Carter is exactly like my eldest son Jamie was at Carter's age. He looks like his grandfather. His personality is like his grandfather. He walks like his grandfather. He gets into deviltry like his grandfather. He's got a smile that can melt the coldest heart, like his grandfather. And the only difference, the eye color. Carter's are bluish green, and Jamie's was dark brown, or is dark brown. And Jamie's hair was a little darker. Carter used to be quite blonde, but his hair is starting to darken a little bit, and that makes him look that much more like his grandfather when Jamie was 3 years old. And so for me, it's fantastical. It's like I'm getting to relive it all over again, and I spend as much time as I possibly can, and I just give thanks, because I'm so blessed. I know there's a lot of grandparents, they never get to see their grandchildren, let alone their great grandchildren, if they're blessed to have any. They may get to see in face chat, which is a wonderful, wonderful invention, but it's still not quite the same as being where you can get your hands on each other. You can hug, and you can actually sit down and interact in person, even though face chat you're in person, but I think you know what I mean. And so whenever I have the chance, I'm there. I'm with him or I'm with them, and so you know, I think it's learning to be content with blessings that you're fortunate to get and to have, and not be worrying about what you don't have, or where you can't go, or what you can't do. And I'll tell you, at the end of the day, to have little people talk to you and care about you and hug you and look at you like you're everything is the best feeling you could ever hope to have, to ever experience. And I am truly blessed that way, and I give thanks constantly for the blessings I've been given. And so here we are already, just past 30 minutes. And so I finally got a video done, and I'll get this loaded up to my YouTube channel. Could have done it live right there, but I like doing it this way, and I can edit it if I need to. And I've done one live on YouTube, I think one, and I've done a couple of live ones on Facebook, but I still prefer to do them, tape them like this, and then load them up. And so I'm going to say bye-bye for today, and I'm going to wish God's blessings to each one of you, and I'm going to ask you to please like this video, please share it if you would, please comment it if you would, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and help me get to 10,000 by the end of this year, if at all possible. I thank all of you who have subscribed and who continue to tune in and watch my videos and go to my different media sites and interact with me and contact me. I want to thank all the reviewers that have been reviewing my work, and for the wonderful reviews you've been giving to not only the autumn series but all my work, and interviews with me, and it's just great to have that interaction, and I hope to be able to continue to do that for quite some time yet to come. And so, take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like now, it's 3 o'clock here. I started doing this, believe it or not, at 1 o'clock today, or even before. I think it was 12:30, something like that. And so I finally got it done. And so so I'll try to be back relatively soon. I know this last time has been quite a break, almost a month, I think, and that's way too long. But as I say, life happens, and I'm going to live my life as best I can for the length of time that I'm still going to be given. And so take care, everybody. Stand strong. Stay well. Don't put up with any BS. You know what I mean. And hang in there. And I'll be back. Talk to you all again soon. Peace out, everybody.